right, so much for the intro music. And welcome to Your Speaking Matters, hosted by Rick and Carol Durling. Each episode of our podcast unravels the secrets of effective communication through engaging conversations, techniques, and tips. The skills and techniques that we are demonstrating can help you transform your fear of public speaking into a skill set that opens doors to new opportunities. In this episode, we have a special guest. Our special guest is Mark Nielson. He is the Area 13 Director of Division A in District 11. So we're excited to have you here, Mark. So welcome to Your Speaking Matters. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you here. So what we like to do with these interviews is start off with a question about a little bit about who you are and your background. I know you shared some of that when we talked earlier, but I think our listeners would like to hear a little bit about you and how long you've been in Toastmasters, perhaps a little bit about your career, what clubs you're in, etc. So I'm going to turn this over to you and let you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. My background in Toastmasters is relatively short. I joined Toastmasters just under 2 years ago here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, based off of a suggestion from a friend at church who is a longtime Toastmaster in our club here in Fort Wayne, the Anthony Wayne Toastmasters Club. And the reason why I was interested was partially because of church, but also because of my career. I work as an electrical engineer in the defense industry for Raytheon under the RTX uh, Technologies Corporation. There's a lot of things I can't say about what I do, but I wanted to grow in leadership in a place that I had a place to practice and make mistakes and grow from others. The other place that grew my interest in Toastmasters was there at church. I received an assignment or a calling. The church I attend is called the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, and we have no paid clergy. All of our leaders serve by our volunteers that accept callings. And in this case, I received an administrative calling over the congregation to be in the background, an administrative executive, like secretary. The name of it's the ward clerk. And that made me accountable for hundreds of people's records as well as the financials of people uh, within our congregation. So I had interests in leadership both on that church side as well as demonstrating that I had these skills to my coworkers and my ultimately my boss at Raytheon, and that led me to show up and understand what Toastmasters is all about.
Wow. Boy, you've taken on a lot of leadership roles, particularly jumping in with such a short amount of time in Toastmasters. Really appreciate you taking on one of the leadership roles in District 11. That's absolutely tremendous. So what, I don't know that you covered it. What clubs are you in? We might as well do a little bit of promotion of your clubs.
Yeah, I'm the club president of Club 521, Anthony Wayne Club Toastmasters, and I previously was a part of the Wall Street Speakeasy before it folded. So we're just in one club at the moment.
Okay, but you're the president of it. Again, another leadership role. Um, you're going to get a lot of opportunity with the variety of things that you're doing here to really get some leadership skills. You get out there and determine how to be a leader. That is definitely a skill that plays well across anybody's life. So you've taken on the role of being an area director, specifically Area 13. What does that role entail?
Yeah, that's a good question. An area director is underneath the division, and I view it as the boots on the ground for the district. The club visits are one of the biggest action items you receive each 6-month cycle. But more importantly, it's to be a sounding point for the district at the club level and to let each club president as well as their executive councils know that you're there to support their needs.
You've got a lot of things to take care of, that is for sure. The support of clubs is one of the most important roles as far as I'm concerned in the district, helping people with any issues that might arise. And, I took on some division and district roles as well. And boy, I was on the phone with Toastmasters, it seemed like every other day, resolving one thing or another. So thank you again for taking that on. Now, I know, because we talked about this, that you're getting ready for an area contest. And that's always a challenge. But I'm just curious, what kind of challenges are you facing with that? And, how's it going?
Yeah, we are in the process of organizing a area speech contest. I've combined with Area 11 here in Fort Wayne to really increase the potential number of participants. One of our biggest challenges right now is getting some interested contestants and volunteers. That's always going to be a challenge, it feels like, but with my area, a good number of my clubs, 3 of the 4 are listed as hybrid, and 1 is remote only, but effectively have been operating as remote only clubs for quite some time. Well, area contest is an in-person event, and that's a big ask for these folks that are a little ways away to travel, but also to show up.
Yeah, for sure. So these clubs are basically hybrid only? Have they got club members? We have a few in District 28, one club in particular. We've actually got members from Brazil and Argentina and other places. And it's pretty exciting to have them, but there's no way that they can participate in contests, not realistically. So is that kind of the situation as well? They've got that kind of just wide geography of people that they have in their clubs? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've got people in Ohio, Minnesota, Georgia, all within Area 13.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's international.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Other than speech contests, what other challenges do you face as an area director? How do you address them?
Yeah, we've had some struggles with membership within the area and a couple of clubs that are in a pending state right now that are working with the club presidents to understand how we can support them, but also offered a club coach if the club is interested in that. So trying to communicate and explain different options that these struggling clubs have.
Would you, especially now that we're all going to be together in one happy district next year, District 216, would you recommend that members pursue being area directors?
Yes, I would say it's been a great learning opportunity for me to serve at the district level. I've seen a different side of what the district needs, and I understand better why club visits are an important piece of the puzzle. And for anyone who's interested in DTM, it's one of the ways to fulfill your requirement. So there's many good reasons to serve at the district level.
What are the requirements that someone needs to have to become an area director?
Well, that's a good question. And in my case, I was somebody who had finished 2 levels of pathways, and I was interested. That I happened to be in the same club as our division director for her home club, and that ended up being a conversation where I was volunteered, but also kind of was voluntold. So,
Oh, well, that's a
willing,
good
wi-
requirement.
willingness certainly is a big part of it.
There's a little question that willingness is one of the major parts of it. I'm going to do a little tiny segue here on you. Just curious, what paths or paths are you working on right now? You've said you've completed 2, so I'm just curious.
Well, I've finished all of the dynamic leadership path through the level 5, and I'm now working through motivational strategies.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Those are great paths. I think Carol just picked up dynamic leadership. Isn't that the one you just picked up? Which one did you just pick?
Persuasive influence.
Okay.
So between those leadership paths and your role as an area director and your role as a club president, are these leadership roles helping you in your work?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I have used Toastmasters as an example and demonstration in my corporate individual development plan at Raytheon to say this is where I'm learning. These are the courses I've taken. I am somebody that uses that email your boss feature for pathways because I want them to know that I'm spending this much time on my own time to practice. So I would say it's been a great help to me, and it's shown up in a couple places with a promotion from senior electrical engineer to principal electrical engineer, and then this last month I was promoted to be the manager over my colleagues. So I'm a senior manager at this point.
Well,
So 2 different
congratulations on the
promotions.
promotion. That's absolutely really awesome.
I'm glad to hear that because it makes me think, I wish I started Toastmasters when I was in my 30s, maybe, 20s, because I had a great career and was promoted, but I know it would have been a lot different. I would, if I had the leadership skills and the communication skills, which is so important as a leader, from Toastmasters. I didn't join Toastmasters. I was within 5 years of retirement. That's way late in the game. So I really encourage younger people to join Toastmasters, and I love hearing your story and stories like it over and over again.
That's tremendous. And I completely concur with Carol. I spent a good deal of my career, 40 years of it actually, being a project executive or a project manager. So I have a lot of background in leadership. So we didn't talk about this, but I'm just curious. You're getting an opportunity to get an awful lot of leadership skills. You're getting to try things out. Is there a particular leadership skill that you can single out as being something that surprised you or was just really interesting that it played out that way? Kind of a tough table topics question, but what the heck?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of different ways I could go with this. What comes to mind is a focus on listening to those around you and understanding different points of view before stating your point. I I've learned recently that leadership and communication isn't so much about telling somebody what you want, but creating a space for others to be heard. In this case,
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry.
No,
Oh, in this case, I would say that in a council situation or a one-on-one, it's far more important to sit and listen and be an open ear for anybody in the room.
I was going to just interject that both of those, so that's two separate concepts, honestly. Listening is a skill that you can actually develop, oddly, in Toastmasters. If you take on even a grammarian role, you're pretty much required to listen to what somebody else is saying. But that ability to be quiet and listen quietly, from my perspective as a leader, was one of my most, it still is my most valuable skill. So I'm really happy that you see it the same way as you're developing as a leader. And that other flip side of it, of being able to communicate, my best friend actually told me years ago, his remark stuck with me. And that is, he said, you can be the smartest person in the room, but if you cannot communicate your ideas, you might as well be the dumbest in the room. He said it a little differently, but the message is there. It's clear. Communications really makes a difference. So that was an interesting question. I apologize, we didn't talk about that, but as I was sitting here pondering the experience that you're getting, I was just curious, and those are two tremendous skills that you're getting, so thumbs up to you. I think that's tremendous. We've covered a lot of ground here. And you already talked a little bit about the leadership role in the church, ward clerk, and the promotions that you've gotten, and the leadership that you're showing, just trying to get your area contracts pulled together. Those are all huge activities that anybody undertakes them is taking on a lot. So you're taking on a lot. And then in addition to that, you've got a family. As I recall, what was it, 4 children?
4 children, 7 and younger.
Wow.
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 Oh, wow. And you're doing all the rest of this on top of that. So, yeah, you're really pushing, and that's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, my best to both your children and your wife in all ways. So let's move on to perhaps the last thing. I always like to give people an opportunity to talk about anything they want to talk about. Is there anything else that you would like to, remarks you'd like to share about Toastmasters, leadership, you name it, or whatever?
Yeah, thank you. The biggest point I wanted to bring up is the importance of focusing on young professionals in Toastmasters. From the corporate perspective, I see my peers getting frustrated at work, and the young professional that works for a company for under 5 years is the highest age group of attrition that we have. And it's not necessarily because of pay. A lot of people complain about that, and those won't go away. But in my experience, it's been a little bit more. The young professional is coming into the workforce with a lot of great ideas, new skills, uh, new things to try, but not necessarily with great communication skills. Uh, Engineers, I'm an electrical engineer, that they may not be known for being the best communicator in the room. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the best communicator. I've likely said or in this conversation, but the this place that Toastmaster provides to practice and to learn leadership skills outside of the corporate bubble has really helped me see that Toastmasters can provide so much to these young professionals. It's something that can really help them grow and demonstrate growth to their superiors.
And it is one of the things that Carol and I struggle with. We're retired, but we know after the fact how valuable it is. And I don't know how to reach out, quite honestly, to the group that you're talking about and help them understand that an investment they can make in themselves is to gain communication skills. It will change their lives. I don't know how to convey that so that gets them to engage. It's one of the challenges that I face on a regular basis, and I think Carol does as well.
Mhm.
So, interesting.
It is an important question, and I think it's key to the success of Toastmasters as an organization moving forward.
I think there is so much to be gained by the young professionals you're talking about, and we say, come on in, we're ready for you, we will mentor you, we will give you the sandbox to help you try things out. It's, I can't say enough great things about it, and we'll just keep plugging away, but I definitely agree with you. Toastmasters can do so much for young people, and it's a matter of getting the word out to all of them. Hey, come on, we can help you.
Make a difference in your life. It's really amazing. Well, Mark, I think we have just about reached the end of our time. If there's any, well, we already did that. So, from my perspective, I really appreciate you being here, and particularly the insight that you provided, not only on who you are, but also the challenges of getting Toastmasters sold or on the radar of the young professionals who would clearly be helped from it. So again, thank you for being a part of our podcast. I'm really looking forward to posting this one. I think this one's very relevant in so many ways. So with that, I think it's perhaps time to wrap things up. Mm-hmm. From my perspective, my first thing is always to thank the On TV studios for the use of these absolutely outstanding facilities, and the support that we get from Joey and Joe and Ian. Everybody here is just absolutely tremendous at helping us make these podcasts possible. I'll go further to say that we, Carol and I, do represent Confident Communicators, a club that's in District 28, which will soon be District 216. And I like to think of us as the best club on the northern edge of District 28. Now, what I'm going to say when we become District 216, I don't know, because there are clubs that are further north. But currently, we are the farthest north club and the best club in District 28. And I invite anybody who listens to this podcast to join us at any time. We of course, will post links to our Eventbrite so that you can join us and check out what Toastmasters can do for you. And with that, I think I'll play that closing music. We good with that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Mark, for joining us today.
Okay, let's wrap it. All right, let me stop things here. Come on, the mouse will work.